Out goes the powerhouse, and the COVID-19 man has come to deliver you from the empty land, from the ones who have been silenced, to the promised land of the other bed, which is the original place for the soul of a man, where he can now get his jubilee and abide safe like he's never been, in the power of the Father, in the powerhouse, cause that's what Word Electric, Double Electric, is the only bed we're connected. Word Electric, Double Electric, in the powerhouse we're connected. Truth in the Torah where it is, that's right. And whether you like it or not, I just don't give a damn. Cause in this thing, the end is gonna be for sure. It's got a date before the song began to score. This ain't no lie, we about to fly. Cause in the truth there's nothing that can be denied. Here's the COVID-19 man is hooking you up to the other bed, to the powerhouse, with you waving. The COVID-19 man is gonna hook you up, cause that's what Word Electric, Double Electric, in the other bed we're connected. Word Electric, Double Electric, to no one else I'm genuflecting. Word Electric, Double Electric, to the powerhouse I'm connected. And then I want to get your power back, cause you were fighting there. The powerhouse not scared, you won't be silenced. Nobody can touch what you were fighting there. Gets to cut the masking back of lies. The righteous now they cries, cause the COVID-19 man is gonna hook you up to the powerhouse. Leave the power show, ride this mule around. And welcome, my fellow Barbarians, once again, reporting back. You know, as these revelations and understanding is coming in at HDTV 28 Hadabarim Torah volts 613. And here we are once again tonight. You know, it's getting late, but I had to report. I got a commitment to this, so I'm doing it. And how that it goes, evening show well, I'll report. And so today have an interesting topic to talk about. And it has to do with the gospel truth, okay? From the point of view, you know, of really what the meanings of the words are, because what's what the Hebrew is all about. Let me take you to the next thing here. All right, and here we are for today. So we're still talking about Ehad here, and we're still talking about the economy that is unique to God, you know, in the way that he's all concerned about words. You got to understand that in the Torah is the revelation of the alphabet. God called himself the alphabet, which means Father. So it's a revelation of the alphabet as is given to man, you know, and how the alphabet suffered within the soul of man. Because men used the alphabet to cast it down to the ground and to do the worst with it. Because within him, the representation of the alphabet was at the highest. So it is by giving it to the heart and the soul of man that the alphabet got to suffer the worst representation ever. Because we were made in the image of the alphabet. It means we were made able to be word carriers, the barium, you know, word carriers. And because of that, he put the words in us, and we dragged our word to the worst use, because it was only used for the carrying of definitions and meaning, which is what the Father does. He realizes that that's the reality behind everything. Nothing made out of dust, nothing is real without the definitions of meaning to say what things ought to be. Nobody's real without the DNA having the meanings and definition of what that person is going to be. So the Aleph Beth is all about the keeping of the word in the most parenting, you know, highest situation possible. And let me take you to a window here so we can start talking. And let me put it here to my beginning one. And yeah, let's go. Bam, 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 bam. Here we go. And so that's what you need to understand. So when we're looking at the Aleph Beth, and the Torah is a story, of the Aleph Beth, of the Father, from being the one that make the heaven and earth, allowing his word to be placed in mankind, and mankind then decided that he was going to be the judge of what is good and evil to the way of using the word, and then he just dragged it through the mud in all these economies, okay? So it is the truth that has fallen in the street. That's the story of the Torah. In the New Testament, we have the story of a fallen man. The Torah is all word-centric. It's all app-centric. It's all concentrated in the alphabet, and in the taking care of the alphabet, because without words, nothing gets done. Without the letters, nothing is accomplished, nothing is named. So the Torah is sitting on the truth. That is the reality. If you have no words in you, there's no understanding, you cannot communicate. It is the words in us, the alphabet in us, that connect us to everything around us. So that's why the Torah is centralized on the truth. It is the story of the Aleph Beth, manifesting himself, making a man in his own image, where he can indwell himself, so he can be in that mindset, the greatest man's mindset there is, which is the mindset of the Father. But he allowed man to use that Aleph Beth on his own, what he could accomplish, and he just dragged it through the mud. And he got created external value systems that just take advantage of him. So he's at the worst right now. But it can be recaptured, in Isaiah 59:14, that is, truth is falling on the street. That's the Torah reality understanding to have. The words are falling on the streets. The value system that's being upheld is an external value system that has no characteristic of the mindset of the Aleph Beth of all words and things, to care for everything, in the right way proper, not just for your own interest and gain, but for the interest of everybody and for the abundance of everybody. So all of that has been gone. So that's what we're here for, to restore the truth back to the original employment, that it can be used in the mindset of the original app. That's the job of the Torah. You understand? And so every other pesel that comes around and tries to make it men-centric, that it is the man has a problem, the man is the fallen one. Man dragged the word to the marketplace, and he uses it for everything, to build his own little toys, but he can still, bring it back again. The Torah is the guide to bring back the word back again to the mindset of God, so that you can enjoy that mindset in the here and now, which has always been his desire and his will. That's how it has always been. So we work from that. And so we're looking now, we're facing the things, because let me take you right now to the lecture right away. Rosa, it's good to see you. All right, let me see if I can put something here, some picture, because I need to get a picture first. Okay, and let's go to the stuff that we're looking to do. Yeah, so we represent the Ahad here, the building behind. Now we're doing the parenting work for the words, and that's basically what the whole scripture is about, because each cell does that. Each cell is made from the DNA, which is made out of words. DNA is a code, and the computer has figured it out. So we can clone. We can, we can resurrect a body into a clone. The cells and everything. So we can do all kinds of stuff. And I was talking to you yesterday about the resurrection that matters. It's the way that the word is employed to bring things to life and to keep things restored. That's the resurrection that matters for the here and now. And that's what God is concerned about. Doesn't want any pesel to come and steal away the importance of what the word can do in the here and now. All right. So let me see if I can bring a little reading of what I'm going to talk about today. Here we go. Now, so I already told you about the verse that truth is falling on the street and naked we cannot enter. So our job is to take the Torahs, and bring it back to the employment of the Aleph Beth at its highest, so that we can enjoy that mindset in the here and now. That's been the will of God from the very start. It has never changed. That's the Torah way. Okay, and I've been talking to you about that, and that's what I've been spending time doing it. And I'm so grateful to Hashem that nobody sponsors me or nobody pays me to do this. This is my own heart trying to understand the mindset of my Maker, to live in harmony with Him in the here and now, and that's what drives me to do this, and to do everything that I do. So you're free to oppose my ideas, if you're very strong to your pesel and you believe, you're free to hang on to them. I have no qualms you holding on to whatever belief system you have, because you just can't abandon anything. You have to be certain of what you do. So you're welcome to listen and see if it makes sense to you, But the whole idea is, hey, if we can all were made, and that is the will of Hashem for us to establish, that unity, become one with Him here and here and now. Why not go for it? That's His desire. He's the God of the whole earth too. Everything belongs to Him. So the whole idea is to learn how to use the Torah to key into His mindset and connect with Him. And that's what I'm trying to do this. That's what I'm giving you, But you're welcome to disagree at any time. I will not be upset at any one of you. That's why I have my little disclaimer at the beginning. This message, are set up in a certain way that may upset some of you. But I'm going to tell it like this because nobody's paying me anything. I'm just being as honest as I can see things here that apply for the here and now in a practical sense of making everything universally applicable, because that's how the Torah is. It's a book for the here and now. All right, so let me see here. Let me see on Micah 6:6-8. So once that it's the Torah that has fallen down, we have used it for our own devices, our own ways, and that's why we have lost our way. Because just like the air, is the number one food that our body eats. If we pollute the air and we don't purify it, our bodies automatically suffer. We're dragged down with it because we polluted the air. But the moment we purify the air again, then our health of our body comes again. That's how it is. The soul is connected to the alphabet. The moment we drag it through the mud, then our soul goes down as well. But as long as we work in building and bringing it back to the mindset of the Father, then our souls, that's how we go back to the Torah. That's shubah. That's repentance. Forgetting, say, okay, Lord, I used the alphabet the best way I thought how to use it, and I made a mess of things. And I'm sorry that I dragged your name through the mud because I did not represent the Father in all the things that I did. I just did a mess of things. I repent for that, and I'm going to go back to your mindset, oh Father. You forgive me, take me back again, and show me your ways. Show me how I can live in the highest way that you can manifest yourself here on the here and now. And then you were talking business, then you are in the mindset of your Maker. Because that was the first business, to reveal His character, as the lover of definitions and meanings, and that holds on to that order of things, so that you will also be in that same page, the same mindset of your Maker, for Him to dwell in you very comfortably. All right. So it says this in Micah 6:8. This is what happens. This is what God requires of you. All right. It's, wherewith shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before Him with burnt offerings? In other words, is God looking for me to, slaughter a sheep, slaughter somebody, sacrifices to die for me? That's what God wants from me? He's asking there. Shall I come before Him with burnt offerings, with calves of a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, or with 10,000s of rivers of oil, to pour out oil offering? Shall I give my firstborn? Is somebody going to die for me? For my sin? Shall I be my firstborn for my transgression? So He's even posing that situation. Is it necessary for somebody to die for me? The firstborn of God, or firstborn of anybody, should they die for me, for my transgression? Is that all the stuff that you require from me? And then it says here, the fruit of my body, shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He had showed thee, O man, what is useful, what is good, what is useful, what is functional. He has shown you what works, what functions, okay? He has showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee? But to do justly, to do what is fair, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. To walk humbly with thy God is pay attention to His commandments, listen to His word, Shema. Simple as that. All He needs us to do is listen, walk humbly, do justly, do what is fair, love mercy, display my character, recognize who I am, come back to me. So no need for any firstborn to die for anything, no need for any offerings, no need for lots of oils to be poured out, dedicated this and that. All you need to do, it says here, walk humbly, do justly, do what is fair, love mercy, and walk humbly with thy God. That means pay attention and be under His command, under His mitzvot, under his Torah. And that's what we're here for. We gather together so that we can bring up the word to the original, mindset that was being used. So that's what we're going to talk about. The word gospel right now. The word gospel means good news, right? And good in Hebrew is tub. Okay, so that's let me put it here. So that's what it says here. Let me go to the tub. In Hebrew, good is tub, and news is dabar. So tub dabar would mean good word or good news. In Hebrew, tub means functional, and from the three Hebrew letters of dabar, dalet, of the bar, which means Dalet, Beth, and Resh. We have the door, the gate for administration, the Beth for the house, and the Resh for the head or the ruler, right? So the bar means the administration of the economy, because economy means eco means house and nomos means rule. So administration of the economy is the word dabar in Hebrew. That's the meaning of the whole word. So when the dabar came to Jeremiah, that means the administration of God's economy for that time was coming to him. When the dabar came to Ezekiel, the administration of God's economy to reveal his will at that time was coming to him. It's the whole setup, okay? The administration of the economy, that was the word dabar. And so echo means house and nomos means rule. So the Torah was given for us to enjoy the best functional performance of the Aleph Beth in the here and now, like I've been talking about. It's all the emphasis on the word. That's all the story of God manifesting himself within the heart of man and within his creation for the sake of revealing himself to man. So when you say good news or tab dabar, you are saying the functional administration of the economy. That's what the word good news means, okay? So it means the functional administration of the economy. So when you say, I'm preaching the gospel, because that's combining good news, you say, I'm preaching the functional administration of an economy for the care of myself, for the care of my mind, for the care of people's economy in the world. All of that applies to that. You see, that's in the here and now, and it applies to something not in La La Land, but in practicality, in the meaning and functionality of the letters. Okay, so what is the gospel truth? It's the functional administration of the economy, according to truth, Torah's reality understanding to have. And what is Torah's reality understanding? To the Torah, to the mind of God, to the Aleph Bet, the only reality are the words that have their meanings and definitions of what something is and how it's supposed to function. Because when you have that order, then whatever has been created by it will work and it will function. So the reality behind everything is found in the words and the meanings and definitions. Nothing, anything else that has come out of it. That's just a projection. So when you know that, then only the keeping of words is your only inheritance. Because that's all God keeps. You see? So he knows the order of everything and that's all he keeps. So it's the main administration of the economy. Let me take it to the top here. The main administration of the economy that souls experience in this world is the astounding management that the Aleph Bet has within us in enabling us just by displaying our desires. We just desire, and this happens, by displaying our desires to be able to form thoughts, words, ideas, concepts, teachings, communications, solutions, remembrances, speeches, and everything else you have experienced with the alphabet, enabling you to do while he is within you. And the second is the amazing work each one of our 33 trillion cells get to perform to take care of the DNA, for it to be cautiously duplicated into the next new cell, and all the magnificent work that is involved in that process. So all of this is happening with us. Each cell of us is an economy on its own. You understand? It's a whole economy. It has from 50 to 150 power plants. Those are mitochondria. Each cell. So it's an amazing job that takes place there for the care of the DNA. So that's now the whole done with the ehad. Each cell just, does the ehad. It's the economy, the economy of constantly housing all definitions, because that's all he keeps, all the definition of what the DNA is, and transfer it to the next cell. So all of that they do. All of that is written in every one of our cells. So we can deputize each one of our cells to tell us the good news of what they're doing every day.
Every day they're resurrecting new cells, bringing new ones to life, burying the older ones. All that work is happening in our bodies. Parts that are being sick are being renewed. Human growth hormone is being sent here. All this magnificent gospel truth, functional administration of the economy of the body is being preached by every one of my cells on a daily basis. And that's what matters, and all that understanding is what matters, okay? So that's what I'm trying to convey with you guys here. So let me see here. So let me go to, so the main administration, okay, and then on the process. Now let me take you all the way to the top here. It says, the aim or objective of a pesel. That's something that people come up with when make a religion, and they emphasize on the externalities. The aim or objective of a pesel, or a graven image or a mind narrative, is to rob the esteem and value and attention that should be given to the Aleph-Bet for the marvelous functionality it performs daily within our souls and our organic cells, and give it all instead to the external things found in this world that can says, oh, I'm sorry, I put that can keep our five senses busily occupied. So everything is for the five senses, and we forget, as long as we're entertained with the five senses, we think that that's life is all about. Losing sight of this whole thing that is happening within us, that our alphabet, with that we are word dectric, empowered by word, the number one manpower upholds all the economies in the world. We are this fantastic machinery that God made, with a soul equipped with everything to bring every idea that any corporation ever came up with and produce their valuables. So we have all of that going for ourselves. So the last thing I say here is the hardware. This is truism here. The hardware or the skin that's without, which means aside, the hardware or the skin that's without has never nor will it ever be greater than the software or the word that is within. You understand that in the computer world, if you mess up with the software, you can go to prison, for hacking systems on the software, because it's very delicate matter. So the software or the word inside of you is what's important. And that's what the whole Torah is focusing on, because that's how it is. That's the practicality of how things work, So the wonderful thing is that even though you sold all your souls to trust and believe in nothing, Hashem has promised to redeem you without money. So that means when everybody trusts in money here, or any resurrection from outside, anything, which has nothing to do, it's not going to appear in any hiring, application, that these things are essential. They need the word that is in you to be able to read and understand, because when you have the words and you're trained to read and understand, you can resurrect their products. You can bring to life the products. And that's what the resurrection that matters to them. And also you can bring the character of God back to life within the soul when you read the Torah and you come back to the mindset again. All of that is possible in the here and now. So it says, so the wonderful things is, where is the gospel truth being told on a daily basis, which is more relevant for the whole management of the here and now than any other man-made Torah deficient gospel of Pesach? That's in the here and now. Every cell tells all the stuff it has to do to take care of the DNA. We are not listening to it, but there's plenty of stuff that explain to you what happens in that process. You can watch in YouTube. And also to form our thoughts, to have our inner lives inside of us. All of that is the currency of the Aleph-Bet. The currency of that word going in us and helping us to be able to do all of that. Says, and then I asked the last question. So what good is all the New Testament gospel narrative events for making sure that we seek to exist in the here and now solely for elevating the functionality of the Aleph-Bet, that means the Father, to his highest employment of being a father and mother to all, which has always been the will of the Almighty from the very beginning and even until now, world without end. See, that has been God's desire from the very beginning. You may want a heaven to go to, you may want healings, you may want resurrections, you may want all of that, but the number one desire of the Almighty has been to unite his mind with you in the here and now, and to have you be his dwelling place here upon earth. That has always been his desire, and he has never changed. So that's why he calls us back to the Torah, to connect back with him, And so if somebody tells you a gospel that doesn't lead you into this, that doesn't automatically put you into the same page with your maker to have to do that, then they have misguided you. They have given you a deficient Torah. They have taken little parts here and there to exalt somebody else, but not to exalt you in the commitment and the objective of the Torah to set you up with the mindset of your maker. Okay, so I'm just going to share now quickly what I did today in my walking, and so it's only 19 minutes, so I'm going to put it here right now. There we go. Okay, with my old video glasses because the other one is acting up. You know, it wants to turn on and off, so I think it's in the last stages. The on and off button is kind of loose. But in any case, today we'll see. I have changed my routine. I only drink the first glass in the morning, and then I'm taking oranges and grapefruits, you know, and walking. That's what I'm trying to keep up daily. So there might be some fluctuations right now, but the fact is that to get into the good habit. So I know that I'm walking, so that's a good thing to go with. So we'll see how the weight is progressing, you know, with this new method. But the discipline is there, and that's the main idea. You know, whenever you get a chance. Because the Bible says the righteous fall 7 times, but it rises up again. You have a goal, you set up and keep going. You know, no need to think that there's a setback going and you change from one to the other. Yeah, I got to think of the best way to do my 12-hour job a day, 6 days a week, and still sustain my energy, you see, and be able to do all this reporting that I'm doing. So it's all part of the, you know, the way you play it around. Now let me see how much it says here for the weight. All right. Alright. So now it's 268. Alright. Okay. Well, 268. There we go. Okay. This thing is breaking down, but I'm not to use it because the camera is still working pretty good and has a little stability. That's why I like it better than the other one. But basically today the message is the gospel truth. What is the gospel truth? The word gospel means good news or good hadabarim, good words. And good in Hebrew is tab. That word says dabar or dabarim. So that's what we're looking at right now. Where is the gospel truth taking place on a daily basis? That is more fascinating than all the 4 gospels in the New Testament. There's a gospel truth. And truth here is there for the reality, Torah's reality, understanding to have. Okay, I'm going to explain that right now. Okay, the little dog behind. So, the gospel truth. What is the gospel truth? That really matters. So we have to look at everything because the first book that came out is the Torah. So when I speak of truth, I speak looking at everything from the perspective of where the Aleph of the alphabet was revealed for the first time. You know, and everybody has followed a pattern after that. Everybody comes up with a papyrus solution. That's my way of saying the T.R.U.T.H. That's the papyrus solution. The Torah was the first papyrus solution to reveal the mindset of the Aleph of the alphabet. And that is the owner's manual, how to employ the Aleph, the alphabet, at its highest optimum performance while here on earth. So that's the reason why the book was given with 613 connections, you know, to the maker of all this creation, so that we will be in his mindset
with the same heart, mind, and attitude toward the care of the order of words. Because one thing that is truth is that everything that is made out of words can only be kept, renewed, restored, refreshed, and all of that only by the same order of those words. And that's how it works, you know. There's no other way to look at it, but that's the only way. I don't dare you to tell me that I'm wrong, because that's the empirical fact. We know that things have been made from words, and those that store those words in them are able to activate those things that have been made with words and are able to reactivate them. So the main concern in the Torah is for the employment of the alphabet at its best. So God, who calls himself the Ab, the father of all words and things, will be highly honored, and mankind will never run out of the goodies, because we will only be the storehouse of all definitions and meanings, and we'll be happy to be in that mindset in which God is at all times, and then he will happily be dwelling in us. So the Torah was basically given for that purpose, so we could take the alphabet and elevate it to its highest employment that it can perform here on earth. Now, all companies and everybody else borrows the alphabet. They make it mandatory for nations and for children to learn it, because there's a way in which they can alphabetize the world. That means put order in the world. So they use the alphabet for the purpose of alphabetize, to put order in the world. So they're using it for the employment of alphabetizing. Okay? But the Torah was mainly given, the alphabet in the Torah was basically so you will never depart from the way God feels about the uses and attitudes of words. You know, he houses all words with its meaning and definitions. So the Torah was the one given for that precise purpose. Any other book that does not allow you to elevate the Torah, the alphabet, to its most prestigious usefulness, presenting in this world as the father and mother to all, you know, then that is not needed. Because all the pazels, all the other main narratives that have come after, you know, present a story that prevents you from elevating the functionality, which is what is good, the functionality and usefulness, you know, of the alphabet to its highest. And so everything is left to leave you stuck and not have you bring the functionality. So you gotta understand that everything was created for the sake of revealing the alphabet at its highest, revealing the truth, the realities, Torah's reality understanding to have. And that's why those people that live to elevate, you know, understanding and words are the ones ruling the world, because they're the ones that write the books, the edicts, decrees that are implemented as rules. So the word has precedence over everything. So that's why the Torah was given, so that we will be in this world as father and mothers to all, housing all definitions and meaning within us. Now, what has happened is that all other pazels have borrowed. They create their own book, you know, to create their own so-called good news, you know, gospel truth. But like I say, gospel means functional words. And so the words that are functional to represent the alphabet at its highest usefulness. All right? Because then the word in us, you know, will never be dragged down to the mud. It will always come at its highest peak and at its highest performance. God will always be honored in us. Mankind will be made abundant by our services. That's the goal of the Torah. And that's why Torah means the commitment to hook up to the mindset of the governing operations director. That's what I call God. You know, to empower life-giving or activation, or to empower, you know, animation So that's the purpose, okay? And I explaining about that. So now, yesterday was interesting because we're talking about the Resurrection Sunday. You know, that they celebrate like maybe once a year on Easter. Now the fact of what I'm going to show you right now is that everything was made, like I say, my body, your body, this whole world was made for the sake of housing the house, but being of housing the Aleph, the revelation of God, you know, in creation. So all creation reveals Him. And so it's just like creation is the hardware, the external part of a computer, and the creator is the software. And you know that a computer, the hardware is only made to house the software inside and to keep it safe. And everything, a computer is said that it's working as long as the software is kept intact and is able to do its application. So that's the same are we. The same mindset is in the Torah. The Aleph was given and introduced to us, and the Aleph is called Father, so that we may grow into the character of the Father and understand everything from that perspective. And learn first of all to understand that we have to be father and mothers to words, because from words everything emanates into this world of the dust and into everything that we manage to do. And so now once we acquire that mindset, then we're set for life. Then God can dwell in us safely. You know, He found in us a place where He can call home, because that's exactly how He's like. All right, so then once we get that settled, all right, once we get it settled in our minds, let me take a little quick rest here. Once we get it settled in our minds, that's the reason why He made us, you know, for that purpose, and that word takes precedence, and it is the work that is doing everything, because inside of your little iPhones, Androids or iPhones, whatever, inside your computer, it is the software that doeth all the work, the Aleph Beth that is doing all the work, okay? And the thing outside, the hardware, the keypads and everything like that, you know, is secondary to it, all right? So it's for the protection of the software. Everything is done for that. So everything has to be seen that way, okay? Now, I was beginning to explain yesterday that the word resurrection just means to bring back to life, to activate something that was dead, to resuscitate, to bring something back. In other words, it existed before and you can bring it back again. And then I gave you the example about if I found a scroll that told me all the knowledge of how the pyramids were built, you know, and now offer you the option of just snapping my fingers and making the whole pyramids appear brand new, or giving you the scroll, which one you will go to for. And people that have a little ounce of a brain, they will realize that the scroll is the one to go to, because once you acquire that knowledge, you can resuscitate all that technology that was used long time ago. And if you're an architect, you can build so many things. You know, you'll be amazed about what people will be amazed for all the stuff that you were able to do with it. So the science that it took to build the pyramids, if it's found, people will definitely want to resuscitate that science again. You want to bring it back to life. Because combined with what we have right now and that, you know, there'll be great things that we could do. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of knowledge that's been buried, by which a lot of good things were done in the past, or big things that cannot be done now, you know. But when it comes to getting the physical resuscitated by the snap of a finger, people would rather go for the knowledge. Because it is in the knowledge, the Word is daily doing resuscitation, daily is doing resurrection, is daily bringing things to life. The Word in each one of the workers of every company in the world, you know, they take on the idea, the seed or the idea of an entrepreneur, of a corporate owner, and they bring that idea to pass. You know, they bring it to life. And the fact that they work as technicians, they revive it again over and over again. So the one that does the resurrection on a daily is the Word, is the Debar that is full of definition and meaning. And that's what we need to remember. So the word, because it's daily, it's alive, it's doing everything, every miracle that you can encounter, in the New Testament, the epistle of the New Testament, bringing things to life, restoring this, restoring that, healing a lot of stuff. All of that stuff is done by each one of our cells. We have 37.2 trillion cells in our bodies. And each one of our cells does that job to take care of the DNA, which is the structure of what we're going to look like, and protects it and it passes it on to the next. And in the process of doing that, it does all kinds of things inside the body. It heals the body. Old cells die. New ones are born. The information of the DNA is transferred from one to another. So the information doesn't die in the old one is resuscitated into the next cell. So all this stuff. And there are things in you that you have that can be getting sick that you don't know. But your immune system is repairing in left and right. Things that go bad, one day they are restored, made anew the next day. There's all kinds of miracles going on a daily basis. The gospel story, the useful and functional story of your own cell, outdoes every story told, by the good news of the gospel. Because the word inside of us is magnificent. The word is able to go through water, through electricity, through air, because they're showing the gospel, the word walking on water. That's one way of communicating, but the word, the DNA, the word inside of our minds to put our thoughts together and put everything together, travels to the nervous systems electrically, travels to the water inside of us. It travels to all kinds of mediums, in order to get the job done for our daily existence and routine existence that we think is routine, but it's a miraculous existence. On a daily, the word inside of our mind, the alphabet, to make us able to think, to make us able to reason, to make us able to form ideas and concepts, to make us able to identify with the world and connect with the world and keep track of everything that it's doing. That's a miracle in and of itself. The word is putting all the thoughts together. We're just desiring that this be done this way, this be done this way, and the alphabet in us is doing the marvelous work of putting all of that together. So there's a fascinating gospel truth, words of functionality that are taking place there, done by the word on a daily basis, that outdo anything that any gospel of anybody has ever told for the flesh. And that's that's the real news, my friends. So the whole idea of creating a epistle in this world, to have you look at something outside of or the grandeur that you have inside of you with the alphabet and the DNA, made from the alphabet to take care of your body, it does not even come close. So every day I have 37.2 trillion cells telling me a great functional story of how my body is kept, and nobody pays attention to it. And this story is far better than any gospel I have ever read. And it's happening to me daily. I'm able to resuscitate, to bring back. The power of resurrection happens when you can read and understand. Everybody that hires you doesn't put in the application, can you resurrect anything? No, they only ask, can you read? Can you write? Can you understand instructions? Because if you can do that, you can bring things to life. You can bring their ideas and product to life. And say what? You can resuscitate them. You can keep bringing them up and up again because you have that knowledge. And you're able to resurrect that idea over and over again as long as you work for that company. So your resurrection depends on the power of your word that is inside of you to bring things to life and to keep them alive. And that's the resurrection that matters. And that's why you're hired. You understand? It is the word. It is for the word that everything is made. Every epistle is trying to take away, the glory and steam that you give into the word at all times, and try to make you apply it. Okay? See, try to make you apply this thing to some externality here, which this externality has nothing to do with being able to connect with the mindset and be on the same page of any boss of any company. That's why when you go there, none of these externality things of the gospel story that is based upon what happened on the flesh is asked. You won't see in any of the applications, as you turn in your resume, any of the things, any of the requirements of the miracles that happen, in the gospel. Can you walk on water? It's not needed to connect with the same page. Can you resurrect the dead? No. The thing is, they know that you can resurrect the products and services. That's because you can read and understand, and that's the resurrection that matters. And that's the one that is used for the here and now. And that's the one that belongs to the Aleph Bet. So that is the gospel truth, my friends. The gospel truth is found more alive and greatly amplified within our own cells and within our own alphabet, the currency that runs within our soul. The Aleph Bet, standard is mine, nothing shall be the value. So when you have taken that Aleph Bet and able to restore, refresh, renew, reconstruct, repair any products and services, I don't care if it's some old car, antique, you can bring it back to life, if you know how to read the instructions and follow. You can resurrect anything that you can put your mind to once you have the Aleph Bet in you. It has a great ability to resurrect all things, bring all knowledge back, restore the old paths to dwell in. That's the resurrection that matters, and that's what God is concerned about. All right? So we're going to be talking more about that when I get to the house right now, but I thought I should keep, brought you up to date as to the gospel truth that really matters and really is for the here and now, and is more powerful than any other gospel ever told. And it comes directly to you, courtesy of the Aleph Bet. All right, let me put this out now.
All right, my fellow divines, so that's it for today. That was to me reporting today, bringing up the ideas for today. To keep us on elevating the purpose of the Torah. Remember, the Torah means Tab, Vav, Resh, Aleph, Hey. The commitment to hook up to the mindset of the governing operations directors as of God for the empowerment of giving life or activating. Okay, so that's the objective, and that's why I'm teaching you the objective of the Torah, because that's the meaning of that, and that's to elevate the word to the highest, and the here and now, because that is the will of Hashem. Not my will, not your will, but that's what He desired, and what He desires, we better, do it because it's what's best for us anyhow. It's not going to harm us. All right, so I'm glad you were able to join me. I'm close with the little commercial here.